3, 2, 1. All right, what is up? What is up, guys?
We're here doing it, live streaming.
We're doing the thing.
Welcome to BitBoy Crypto. I'm your host, BitBoy.
All right, gosh, a superhero.
Yeah. Oh, you guys just wait. You guys just wait till I get the full costume going on. It's gonna be.
I've been waiting like months to see you in spandex.
Me too. He said and you know what? I'm sad because he said that he's only gonna wear it on Halloween, and I'm not gonna be there on Halloween at World CryptoCon, man.
Dang. No, he's gonna wear it every day. You're gonna be wearing that thing every day. Every day on your channel too, baby. You're gonna be doing.
I'm gonna have to. Well, the one thing is, I've kind of had to like rig the mask a little bit because it's like really what I want is a full like luchador mask, you know. Yeah. But it's actually like really hard to find anybody to make that custom. I found some people on. I found some people said they were willing to do it. Or no. I found some people that make custom ones, but I couldn't find anybody that would actually like make the one I was asking for. So. Kind of bummed out.
You got to come back to LA, man. We'll go back to the garment district. They'll make you those things custom right there on the spot, buddy.
Yeah.
I mean, probably moving there, so let's do it. So, all right, guys. Well, here we are live streaming. I hope all my audio is okay here. But we're here, YouTuber Extravaganza, number like 17 or whatever. So we're going to be talking about Tether and, you know, all kinds of other stuff during this chat. Just, you know, if you guys want to drop us some comments and questions, do that below. I'll let everybody go around and introduce themselves. I'm BitBoy from BitBoy Crypto, and I do edutainment. So, Randall?
I am Randall from Crypto Love. I like unicorns shooting bitcoins and rainbows out of their butt.
Word.
That is a tough one to follow.
Micro penis.
And I guess I will follow that up. My name is Forrest. I am on the channel Hashoshi. Welcome, everybody. I am a blockchain developer turned edutainer. So also, thank you for joining.
You want to go mustache?
The Stache, that's right. The CryptoStache. They call me the Stache. And yeah, I try and focus on, you know, beginner educational content, helping people to get their footing here in the crypto space. And yeah, I love being here with y'all.
Cool. CryptoBeadles, interview CEOs and founders of blockchain projects, got a YouTube channel, own a blockchain development company. We build applications for people like the post office, and co-founder of Monarch.
Awesome.
And I love Deadpool. Oh, such a big fan of Deadpool and Bitcoin.
Are you really?
Oh,
let's make Bitcoin great again.
Let's do that. Damn,
it's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge. Don't make me whip out the wig. So, okay, well, cool. Well, the main thing I want to talk about tonight on this live stream was the situation with Tether, because, you know, I don't think anyone here is a huge fan of Tether. I don't know. Maybe someone might surprise me.
He did it again.
But Tether, as we all know, has like a
kind of lost volume.
You lost volume?
No, we hear you. We hear you, Beadles.
Okay. Yeah, you still there?
Yeah. So, but anyways, Tether is very sketchy. It's linked with Bitfinex, and it actually dropped today down to 95 cents. And a lot of people were trying to basically move out of it. And, you know, a lot of people suspect that's what actually caused the Bitcoin pumps today, and then the subsequent altcoin pumps. So I want to get everybody's opinion on what you guys felt like happened. You know, what do you guys feel like is going on with Tether? And is this bad news for the future for people who want to put money in Tether and things like that? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. So I read a couple different things as to why it happened. There was someone saying that there was, I think, $50 million of money from Tether that was put into cryptocurrencies. So I was starting to speculate as to why that was happening. Potentially people thought maybe we are seeing the bottom and they just made a huge, massive move. Potentially it was because the price was going down. I mean, everybody knows that Tether is kind of a slippery slope. It's not really backed by anything, hasn't been audited. But, I mean, the US dollar, not really backed by anything either. So, yeah. You know, so it's kind of like what to do with that. But I've lost my train of thought. So, you know, I was just thinking about that Twitter thing that you were talking about earlier.
Let's not talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
It's on his mind. He can't get it out. Let's not go there. I mean, yeah, I think, with Tether, the idea of what Tether is trying to do, obviously, I think is important in the space. We've seen how, kind of instrumental Tether has been in trading in general, I think, because it gives people a quick way to exit into a fiat-like peg so they can hedge, right? That's what it comes down to. It's the best way right now people are using to hedge, but keep your money still in crypto and not have to do the pricey cash outs to actual fiat, right?
Mhm.
And I mean, so I think that we've seen some of these fluctuations with Tether before. I mean, 95 cents is pretty low. I mean, I've seen it go 98, 97. Yeah. But when you start to get into the 95, even lower, I mean, it's definitely pretty bad. I mean, but it was a pretty quick blip too. So, I mean, sometimes we see these kind of like black swan type of events, right?
Well, I mean, it's still down though. I mean, it's at 97 right now. So
yeah,
but down almost all day.
I was looking back in like March or April, it was around 92 cents at one point.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
But also, so like this is the thing that I forgot because I was thinking about that dude with the micro, running around on Twitter. But anyways,
damn it,
family friendly, right?
Family friendly, dang it.
We weren't mentioning that, right?
Yeah.
So anyways, basically like up until recently, Tether's been the only option for a stable token.
Yeah.
The only option.
Only real option.
Because there's the Gemini dollar, which we call like the G unit on the Hush Hush. There's the True USD.
Yep.
Monarch wallet. You can put True USD on that wallet. So like all that different stuff. There's a whole bunch of different options now, whereas before they didn't have those. So I think maybe this will be like the nail in Tether's coffin.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Okay, cool. Because I actually had to come out and come back into the meeting. So I don't know what's going on, man. I just got done doing an interview. I tried streaming this to my channel and it's a nightmare. So, geez. But is anybody worried that, they supposedly had all this money in the bank, right? But then they lost their banking partner, right? So if they've lost their banking partner and they've lost their bank, where the hell's all the money?
Right.
Anybody asking that question?
I don't know what happened with that. I mean, does anybody have clear?
That's kind of a big problem, right?
I know where the money is. It didn't go anywhere because it was never there. I think that they just have a bunch of people with a lot of money that when they did that audit for like the snapshot, they just had people put money in an account for the snapshot and then it all disappeared. So I don't think there's any money lost.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, if you look, are they even able to take money right now from anybody like on Bitfinex? Can Bitfinex?
Well, it's a temporary hold. I mean, they said it's temporary. They said it should be within a week. And a lot of people have looked into it. I don't even really know what that means, but the rumor is that people have looked into it and that it seems as if there's like nothing really sketchy other than the normal sketchiness with Bitfinex going on behind the scenes. Like whatever they're saying about why they got deposits on hold, like that's legit reason and everything should be back to normal. Now, obviously they said within a week. So if it's not within a week, then we got to start saying like, okay, maybe there's something, much more sinister going on.
So are they just buying time? Because when you look at, like Bitfinex together, they have the same managerial, people, right? So
that's my main concern about
if Noble Bank went out of business or is on the way out, and that was where they had their money, and then it went to HSBC or something like that, and then now they don't have the money. This exchange and Tether, where is the money? So that's what I'm wondering.
And
I just saw in my chat Jake Canfield, the creator of the Canfield Fibonacci extensions.
Yeah, I've heard of that guy.
He's asking if anyone's here to buy the Tether dip, and I think he might have a point there.
I think I saw him buying that Tether dip. Wasn't he talking about that earlier? He's like, I bought that Tether dip, man. I'm like, that's a move right there, dude.
Mm-hmm.
When you can buy a Tether dip, like
because you're almost guaranteed that it's coming back to $1.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's the idea.
You're almost guaranteed a 4% profit.
Is anybody worried though that this is supposed to be a stable coin, and if it can drop, 6-8 cents like that, it's no longer untainted. You know what I mean? It's no longer trustworthy, right? So even like True USD, that was the one that I chose to put on our wallet because it's actually backed by banks, right? But that went up to $1.20, so that's not even stable. So
it's at $1.03 right now.
Yeah. So I mean, that's not a true stable coin. So
Even if you're pegging to a US dollar, the US dollar again isn't stable. So you have
Fluctuates.
two moving targets. You've got
Right.
you know, huge volatility that can move the stable coin part of it, and then you have the US dollar moving. So it's, especially when you're trying to do it algorithmically, you know, it's really tough to get that to actually work. And today's a perfect example of that. As soon as the Twitter storm starts firing up and stuff starts moving, the only way to stop it is to just close out trading and to lock it up like Bitfinex did today. But I think it's scary that, you know, really every exchange has their own stable coin, or they're trying to. It's kind of sketchy.
That's the new thing. In Binance last night, they put everything in maintenance mode, so you couldn't even get rid of your Tether.
Yeah.
Because they're like, what do I do? What do I do? I'm like, go out and buy some VeChain, go out and buy Stellar, dump that.
Well, I've said that many times. I don't like True USD either, because when they listed on Binance, it went up 30%. And so guess what, guys? If something could go up 30%, it can also go down 30%. And if it can go down 30%, how much further down can it go? But so I think that, you know, all of these stable coins that we have right now, none of them are the answer. I think that really the closest one probably to an answer would be Gemini, because of strict regulation they're under, you know, from kind of all fronts. But I actually think that the stable coin that we will eventually use is not out yet.
I think it's called Bitcoin.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's what I said today. Comparing cryptocurrencies against US dollar, which is, you know, the stable token of nowadays, but 5-10 years in the future, Bitcoin is going to be, or some other, maybe it'll be Ripple.
Yeah, I mean, and when you think about it too, like, you know, like Hashoshi was saying, man, you know, the stable coin, like stable coin, people have this idea that it's always going to be exactly $1. But I think that when you talk about these financial instruments, you know, playing against each other, that's never going to ever be the case. So I think that, you know, we're seeing a stable coin that's going to be as stable as really it's probably going to be. And I think that Tether has been that stable coin. They have been there and you know, been a very highly used instrument of the community. But you're right. I mean, it's never going to be at a point where it's always going to exactly be $1 pegged. There's going to be fluctuations. And I think that no matter what, who is backing it, no matter how much money they actually can verify they have in their bank, I think there's never going to be a time where we have a stable coin that's literally always $1 and never ever changes. It's just not. I don't think it's possible.
And we should be targeting a place in the market where we don't need that for people to actually do what they want to do, right? I mean, Tether was like a temporary solution to a big problem that I think we needed for a while, but I hope that instead of trying to fix the idea of a stable coin is to prevent us from having to need it at all. That would be the ideal solution for me. Obviously easier said than done.
One thing to watch for sure is my boy David Zembeck. He just created the peg. Right now it's like super secret, like where it's being used, but that is something to watch. Yeah. Like he's like super smart, the world's first smart contract creator, everything. He created a peg. And, you know, basically he explained it on that decentralized debate a little bit, where he talks about how it locks things from going up or from going down. And so that way it doesn't have all the volatility of all these other currencies, you know, impacting it. It's able to just kind of do things on its own. It's some crazy contract that he wrote up that just kind of kills volatility. And so exchanges really don't like it because a lot of exchanges love the volatility, right? They love things to go way up. They love things to go down, you know, because they short it, they make money up, they make money down.
Right. Well, trade, that's what the market needs, though. I mean, that's what you look at the stock market. I mean, obviously the volatility is not as crazy there, but I mean, there still is volatility. That's what they're trading. You know, it's just not as big as swings. And so that, you know, I think that when you talk about emerging financial market, you want some volatility in there. But the stuff we've seen in crypto obviously is like very scary to people, you know.
You want volatility in your trades. You want security and stability in your peg, right? Yeah. So that's what I'm getting at is we need that. We need that security blanket. It's like, hey, we just made a ton of money on Bitcoin. Let's put it over here real quick. What is that over here real quick?
Right.
Well, that's what David does.
And I'm getting a question, which I think makes sense for us to answer for people that are watching our channels that might be kind of new to crypto. Like, what is a stable coin and what is the point of a stable coin? Like, that's a fundamental question, I guess. You know,
Probably
it's a hedge. That's the whole point. Is it's essentially your hedge from cryptocurrency to something that is dollar-like, so it can retain its value until you're ready to jump back into the market. I mean, that's the whole point is to be a hedge against Bitcoin or other alts.
Right.
It's a way to preserve. It's a way to preserve your
Profits.
Your gains or your losses, whatever. It's to take from one asset and put something that's not volatile. So you take something that's volatile and you put it into something that's not. And that is supposed to be something that's stable. Whatever it's pegged against, people right now, the US dollar is the world reserve currency. So that is what it's supposed to be pegged against. Until we have some other currency basket or something that replaces the dollar, it needs to be pegged to that. And we don't have anything like that yet. The closest thing I've seen so far was True USD. And it goes up, but I haven't seen it go down yet. And so
That's
it
good.
might, who knows? Yeah.
Yeah. So, and like, just so everyone understands, like in a hypothetical way you would use it is, let's say you had money in Bitcoin and then all of a sudden a huge negative story came out and you read it like the minute that the story came out. Then, like, let's say that the ETF gets totally denied. Well, you could be smart enough to say like, okay, this is probably going to make the price of Bitcoin drop. So before the drop actually happens, you would take your Bitcoin on Binance or wherever it is, you would trade it into Tether or True US Dollar or whatever stable coin you want to trade it in. And then your money is basically going to sit at that same value, pretty much the same value. We've been talking about today. There's a little fluctuation there.
Right.
But, you know, it's going to stay basically the same value, even if the price of Bitcoin drops. And then if it does drop, then you still have the same amount of money you can invest and you can actually gain more Satoshis.
You rebuy, you can rebuy in at a lower price, right? And so that's kind of the whole, you know, hedging.
And it prevents you from having to convert out to fiat currency constantly when you want to do that same sort of action, whereas you'd have no other option if something like that didn't exist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it keeps you liquid. I mean, right? Because then you keep money quickly in the market. If you're cashing it out to fiat every time when you're trying to, you know, take that profit from you know, your Bitcoin gains or you know, you want to get out before you see a big loss coming, you know, you're going to hit fees for one, obviously, and then it's a taxable event too. So those two things right there, I think, are very important to consider when you're doing it to Tether. It's not necessarily the same thing. Well, I mean, the crypto to crypto kind
Still
of
taxable.
It is taxable, but in general, the you know, you're not going to have the cash out fees. So
you got to catch me first, coppers.
Yeah.
I did think it was really interesting how, in addition to what was going on with Bitfinex, there was that fake news email from Binance. They're like,
yes,
hello, Binanceans, we're delisting Tether because Tether big scam.
Which comes right on the heels of an actual Binance announcement last week where they delisted Triggers, Bytecoin, Chatcoin, and the other one slipped my mind right now, but where they actually did delist and it looked, you know, kind of similar. So, but the thing is, it wasn't just, so that started as an email, you said?
Yeah, it was circulating on Twitter.
Yeah, somebody somebody screenshotted it and then it started circulating everywhere.
Yeah. And
so that might have like compounded the problem a little bit. But that's what, like, I woke up and I was telling you guys before we came on, like in my Bit Squad Telegram chat, which you guys need to join. It's in my video description if you're not in. But I woke up and there were like 200 messages. And then I started scrolling through. I was like, holy crap, so much happened while I was asleep, you know? I made a good meme of myself sleeping now I can use next time. But so I come across that and like, I just barely glance at it first thing when I'm waking up, you know, and I'm like, oh crap, is this real? You know, like, because that would, who knows what that would do to the markets. And it's, you know, it's kind of hard to know exactly when you see one of those things at first glance, whether it's real or not. So
that sounds like some of that FUD shit that we saw last year, man, when there was like fake documents circulating around all the time and like stuff that was like very easily proven, like this was fake. And then, you know, markets are moving because of it. And I feel like we haven't seen a lot of that here in the last, you know, 6 or 8 months, and to kind of see something like that resurge is kind of crazy. You know, I feel like the markets have matured a little bit here in this last year after what we've kind of been through. And, you know, you think some of those things would not be slipping through so easily, right, on social media like that. People would be spotting out a little easier.
I agree. I agree with you that markets have matured, but I also think that, you know, everybody still does have a bit of that fear going on. Like, we all have that hope that somebody's going to be buying this stuff for more than we paid for it. And there's also that fear in the back of our head that, like, you know, what if it all does go to nothing? And so that type of stuff with, seriously,
because I never have that fear. I literally have no fear of Bitcoin going to nothing. That fear is not there. But other alts, my alt bags for sure.
Yeah, well, Tether. I mean, Tether particularly, just because.
Oh, it could totally collapse. You're right. Tether definitely has the possibility to totally collapse.
That's the question I want to ask you guys. So I've read papers on both sides, right? So a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but there's papers out there that say that Bitcoin is artificially inflated because of Tether, and we have a $2,000 Bitcoin without Tether. Then you have other papers that say, no, that's nonsense, that it's baked in, it doesn't matter. What do you guys think? What happens if Tether does go under? What's it going to do to the market? What do you think? Is it just going to be, like people freaking out, and so you'll see panic sells, you'll see a little bit of drop, and everything will go back? Or do you think
I think we'll actually see some type of an altcoin bubble if Tether go, because if the price of Tether starts dropping, people are going to sell all their Tether, get out, and then we'll start seeing altcoins popping up potentially. I mean, Tether today have a pretty large market cap. I don't remember what it is. It's
like number 8.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably pretty large in terms of the general market cap, but all of that money, as it's going down, could be exiting to other positions, and we'd see those just because of low liquidity of some of those positions on exchanges. We could see the price of those going up.
Yeah, I think that you're right on with it. I think we'll see definitely some sort of alt rally, probably little rally in BTC like we saw today. I think we'll also see one of the other, main stable coins really look for a push, because that's what it is, right? All these other guys are out there and they're like stable coin, and they're all fighting for it. And then when they see Tether, like, dude, he went down, and they pounce, right? Yeah. And that's the time to do it.
How did they do that, Stache?
He's down. What?
How did they do that? How did they pounce? Oh, okay, good. Okay.
New thumbnail.
Well, I think, that the beautiful thing about it right now is that the further we get kind of away from, a lot of people have said, I forgot the exact phrase that they used, but like, imagine a cabinet that's got dishes that have fallen over and they're leaning up against the cabinet. As long as you don't open the cabinet, you're not going to break the dishes. The dishes are not broken. They're totally fine. But the moment that you open that cabinet and the dishes are pressed against it, like, they'll all fall out and break. And that's kind of what Tether is. Like, once we're actually able to get into the inner workings of their accounts and the audits and Bitfinex and how it's all like just a sloppy mess, like, is going to be a disaster. But the great thing about that is the further that we go and the more people kind of understand that concept, the more people are moving to different stable coins, and we're getting a much higher selection of them as well. Obviously, Stellar is coming out with their own, Circle is coming out with their own. So many different projects are coming out with their own stable coins that once the cabinet is finally opened and the Tether dishes come out all broken, then hopefully it won't have nearly the stranglehold on the stablecoin market, so it won't make as much of an impact.
But that's another question, though, is the saturation of a bunch of different stablecoins that all are implemented differently, they all run differently. Do you think that that's also dangerous for the market, where you have people trading on multiple platforms and they have so many reference points for liquidity, and they're over reliant on stable coins? Like, that concerns me in some ways, where every single exchange is going to have their own, I guess, their own standard to run by.
Well, I mean, we already kind of have that with a lot of these exchanges anyway. So I think we're going to continue to see that. They see the value in having these types of coins that they can help peg with, and really it just comes down to trading pairs, in my opinion, because a stable coin is great. You can see it out there, but if there's no trading pairs for it on any exchange, then, I mean, you're not really doing much with it. I think so. Getting trading pairs for these stable coins is really the key thing. And if you can't get access to those, then you're not going to be able to do much on multiple places.
Yeah, one of the things that to make me feel better about this market, I oftentimes read Andreas Antonopoulos, and he talks all the time about how there's going to be a lot more cryptocurrencies than we see now, just because it's going to be, I mean, there's going to be tons of them, and really the ones that have value are the ones that build up a community that get support that people use.
Dogecoin for the win.
Pretty much. Talk about them getting listed on Coinbase and stuff like that today. So yeah, I mean, there are a bunch of options for stable coins, and whichever one wins. Yeah. Another thing I was thinking was this whole Tether thing that's going on, it is funny because this is like last week there was talk about Bitfinex becoming insolvent. So like this is kind of right off of the back of that. And I just keep on wondering, like, how many times we're gonna keep on going around and around with this, like, what's going on with Bitfinex, what's going on with Tether, Brock Pierce,
and I mean, every time there's like this news cycle about it, and there's all these questions that are dodged and not answered, and then there's like, you know, they do some sort of like half-baked audit process or whatever. It just makes people more freaked out the next time there's an anomaly, even if it's an honest mistake. Like, you know, this volatility could have been due to anything,
right?
But people freaked out because they're already concerned about the validity of Tether and Bitfinex. So I mean, I get it. And then obviously all the social markets start churning, and everyone gets freaked out and sells more out.
When they share the same management team, it appears, anyways, to a lot of people, they're one and the same. And you got Bitfinex saying, "Oh, insolvency, they lost their banks." Tether lost their banks.
Yeah.
You know what's going on? Then you see Tether last week, I think it was, they took $300 million out. Anybody see that? I mean, I don't know exactly, you know, if that's like, I don't want to get too conspiracy theory, right? But you know, it's like you see $300 million disappear, and then, you know, here we are, right? So I don't know.
They're master manipulators. They're master manipulators. They've proven it from the start, and you know, they've been caught in a bunch of lies, and they just continue to figure out a way to wriggle out of it. So, and you know, a lot of people believe that they don't have the money, but they did have, you know, let's be fair to them. They did not have a full audit, but they did have a law firm earlier this year, like just a couple months ago, I think maybe 3 or 4 months ago, come and like say, oh no, they do have all of the money that they claim to have. And what a lot of people think is that they do have that money, but that money is a result of all of the money they made during the bull run when they didn't actually have the money in.
Yeah, that seems like the most likely scenario to me. I think they have been fibbing in the beginning, and I think that bull run, they were smart and they capitalized off that, man. And they're like, all right, now we got the cheddar. Let's just keep going, guys.
A lot of people,
they've been fibbing.
Yeah, fibbing. A lot of people say that about Tron, right? They say, you know, Tron started off as completely illegitimate. They raised enough money, now they're legitimate.
Yeah.
So you guys are saying that about this. But one of the things that I've always said is, you know, the banks got us into this, and now the banks are going to have to get us out of this. And so what I mean by that is, in 2009, when Satoshi created this stuff, it was basically in a fight against the banks. Now everybody's wanting the market to go up, and we need the banks to come in to basically, you know, save us, right? And so I think with the next stable coin, I think it's going to be something backed by banks. And so it sounds bad, but that's what people are going to want. That's why TrueUSD, it actually has like 3 or 4 big banking partners. So there's some kind of, not trust because everybody hates the banks, but at least you know that they're supposedly not touching the money, where with Tether, you know, who knows what they're doing with it, right? And with TrueUSD, they're actually printing reports, and you can actually see what's going on, and they got banking partners. So I don't know. What do you guys think? The banks got us into this. They're going to get us out?
I think, honestly, I don't think so, man. I think that's definitely not the way I see this. I see it as, you know, I don't want the banks to try and get their hands back into this. I know a lot of people are like, I can't wait till institutional money gets here. I love ETFs. I want all that stuff. I mean, it's probably going to come. That's not something we're really going to be able to stop because people want it to happen. But I don't think we need, as a whole, I don't think we need banks to come in and save us. I think the cryptocurrency scene and industry is doing great. I mean, you look at just what has been accomplished in just 10 years time. I mean, show me another financial industry that has made the kind of strides that cryptocurrency has in just 10 years.
Yeah. Pornography.
You don't have to sell me.
You may be right about that. It drives a lot of technology, porn does. I mean,
yeah. Well, I think, you know, something I talked about, you know, today is, you know, there's a distinction between people who are in crypto strictly for the financial gains. I know I'm not going to call him out, but I know Stache and I talk, you know, about one guy in particular who says like he doesn't really care about the movement. He's only in it for the financial gains that he can get, short-term, long-term, whatever. He doesn't care about the movement. If you guys watch this crazy fiasco unfold on Twitter with Mulia coin, which is a coin that basically they have a backdoor built.
The name says it all, baby.
I know.
Fail. That's a fail right there.
They got a backdoor built into their ERC20 where they can recall the tokens back from people's wallets.
That is impressive. That is impressive coding.
And the owner, when pressed on it, he was like, well, I'm just here to run a company and do what's best for my company. Like, I don't really care about crypto or the movement I'm not here for the revolution. So we see that kind of attitude permeate throughout crypto. It's not everyone in crypto, but there is a large portion of people that's all they care about. And if that's all you care about, then you want banks to come in. You don't care about any of that. What I told my people on my channel today is, I don't trust stable coins. I don't like them. I tethered like once or twice, and both times it was a disaster. So I'm not doing it anymore. I said, look, if you're here because you're here for the movement, you're here for crypto, you're here for decentralization, and you want to like advance the space, then we should just be tethering to Bitcoin. You should be tethering with your alts to your Bitcoin because you believe in the long-term prospects of it. So, and the financial money, the big institutional money, like we can't do anything about it. It's coming, but John McAfee said we can try to fight it and protest, but
that's what everybody or a lot of people are banking on, is banks coming in and pushing the market up. Everybody keeps saying they need institutional money, so that's a way of saying the banks will bail us out, right? But when it comes to Moolah coin or whatever you said, 2 words comes to mind: due diligence. Come on, baby, due diligence, man.
Yeah. And the other
that's
thing
something that we hard. It was actually hard to find our due diligence on, and I think one of our buddies was the one who like dove into the code and like really had to look into the contract to see what was.
That's what you have to do. I'm telling you, like I try and say this to people as much as possible, in my videos to that point. If you can, look at the contracts. I mean, because a lot of these contracts have the fingerprints all over them. If you look at how well they're crafted, and it's actually not, even if you're not a developer, there are a lot of things that you can see pretty blatantly. Like, who knows, that function could have been like, labeled explicitly like screw over our customers, right?
It's commented right above it.
It's the code is burn return.
Return.
That's the code. Burn return.
The inventor of the Canfield Fibonacci extensions.
I heard he's quite good at GoldenEye. Is that correct?
Yeah. He mentions that this guy BitBoy talks about backdoors a lot.
Family friendly, guys.
We're
go through the front, take it down, and go through the back. Huh?
Is your costume? Does it have assless chaps?
Come on, family friendly. Okay.
It's in Vegas, baby.
BitBoy's gonna have to go in and redact half of this.
Get away with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to redact this live stream. Y'all are terrible.
So, guys, I wanted to ask everybody a question. So, obviously, the economies of the world, they go in cycles for sure. I mean, that the history has told us that much. And to that end, we're kind of, in my opinion, towards the peak of that. The upward part of the roller coaster. So we're looking probably at some semblance of a financial crisis to the size of which I think no one can truly tell. But what do you guys think the effect of a financial crisis would be, outside of crypto on the actual crypto markets? Some people think it's up, some people think it's down. I just wanted to get your thoughts.
We're already seeing what the effects are. So we're already starting to see, lower levels of that when you look at places like Venezuela, Argentina, that are having troubles already financially, where their native currency has been inflated, thousands to millions of %. And then what are they doing? They're hedging into Bitcoin or into Dash, and they're using that to transact with each other because it's holding value.
No, he's exactly right. Yeah, most of my audience is, in some of the poorest countries. They flock to crypto, man.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but in the short term, though, like if we were to look at, let's say, the United States, which we obviously have a much more stable economy than pretty much everywhere. I mean, you can say it's a house of cards, whatever, but it is pretty stable. Even when we have a recession, it's we have the biggest economy in the world.
Our military makes it so.
Yeah, exactly. So, but what we saw over the last week with the stock markets dumping was it actually had a negative effect on the crypto markets. So if we were heading towards a recession and we are heading toward, some kind of financial collapse of some type in the United States, which your friend Dr. Doom, Noriel Rubino, says that this next crash, and this is one point I actually do agree with him on, which is that whatever the next crash we experience as the United States, we won't have the same policy tools that we had during the 2008 crash, like the ability to do bailouts. We won't be able to do bailouts again. So that actually, what's that?
Quantitative and monetary easing.
Right.
It's where they just print money, kind of like what Tether is being accused of.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right. Well, and but those are the kind of policies we're trying to get away from, right? I mean, we don't want to just have a government where it's like, hey guys, we're just going to print some more money out of thin air. Why not, right? Just we'll just inject in an economy.
No, I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that, and that's obviously a part of the reason why we're, doing what we're doing. It was funny last week. Donald Trump said he wanted to end the Fed, or he said something real negative about the Fed, which was good news. But the whole point of what I'm trying to say is we could be heading towards this recession. And if the last week of dumping on the stock market is an indication of what's going to happen with the crypto markets, then it might not be as good as everybody thinks it's going to be for us to have.
I think you'll see, if that does happen, I think you'll kind of see, like that lull. I think there could be maybe an initial dip where you may see the crypto markets take a little bit of a hit, but I think then you'll start to see a lot more people jumping over into crypto as a hedge from some of their stocks and trading. And then eventually, if it gets bad enough where it's really literally affecting the inflation or the value of the US dollar, that's, I think, when you'd really see people, jumping into crypto to keep value for their maybe retirement savings, or even maybe just their regular checking and savings type of funds, so they are not losing that type of value that they would.
Well, one thing that they said though about the stock market dump and the subsequent crypto dump was that maybe, like, because there were things last week in the stock markets that were down 10%. Like that's like in crypto, that'd be down like almost 100% equivalent. Like we're used to seeing those, but the stock market, they don't see that. So if you're heavily invested in a stock and it dips 10%, and let's say you had like made some crypto gains, then maybe you kind of pull out some profits from crypto to cover your loss on the stock market. What's he saying now, Randall? I see you looking at your screen. What's he saying now?
They're talking. No. Dustin mentioned that Stache has that Doc Holliday look, and then
Johnny Ringo looks like somebody just walked over your grave.
and then Jake, the inventor of the Canfield Fibonacci extensions.
I heard he's really good at Halo. Is that correct?
He says, "I'll be a Huckleberry."
Hey, why is he not on here with us?
I wanted to comment on this.
You can't see it.
Can't see it. Why is Jake not on here with us?
I'll be your Huckleberry.
Yeah, Jake, if you go to that OGs thing, you can join. Just hop in if you want.
Yeah, come on, Jake. Come on in. We got a spot for you right over here somewhere.
My thought on this is that like cryptocurrency is supposed to be a non-correlated asset. So like historically hasn't done that much the same of everything else. And theoretically, what we've seen, especially when there is large-scale devaluation of currencies or deflations, like you mentioned, I loved how you said Venezuela. It sounded very Latina. But
he's into that.
Yeah, exactly. In Venezuela. Every time we see that, people flock to Bitcoin, other cryptocurrencies. But with stock markets recently, we've seen when stock market crashes, cryptocurrency markets crash. Now, this next great economic collapse we're going to have, this has just been people kicking the can down the road like we've mentioned. But this will be the first time that we have a crash where Bitcoin exists.
Yeah.
So really, we have no idea what'll happen.
Agreed. We have no reference point, because you're right. It really, Bitcoin in a way was created as a response to the original financial crisis.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So that's another interesting thing to think about. And I see you laughing, CryptoLove, so we'll have to hear that. But the question mark is too.
Randall's got some white teeth, man. I love it. Because I really miss the beard. But without the beard, I can see his mouth a lot more.
It turns out I have teeth.
Can we stop? This is real dirty.
Where's Crow? He needs to be like, that's a purty mouth, boy.
You got a purty mouth, boy.
We're gonna go from Tombstone to Deliverance. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, we got a break here about what we've been talking about. I've been getting this question so much all the time.
Charles Hoskinson to leave?
What?
Why Charles Hoskinson leave?
No, it's for you. This question is for you, Beadles. People have been asking me this for weeks, and I keep forgetting to ask you. And I've had like 2 or 3 different people ask.
You're not really my type. I like you, but not in that kind of way. I love
you. There you go. Not happening, folks. It's just not a Beadles BitBoy is not happening.
That's the triple B. The triple B. No. In all seriousness, I'm blushing, guys. In all seriousness, though, what is the update on Android? The Android update for Monarch. Everybody wants to know.
I got you. So it's been ready for weeks, but I'm not happy with it yet. There's a few tweaks, a couple things that I have to work out. I'm hoping to release it the next day or two. But again, I cannot risk any user security whatsoever. Period. So as much as I want to get it out there for you guys, I got to make sure that it's 100% right. And there's just a couple little tweaks, a couple little back doors, BitBoy, that I got to close up.
You're really good at tweaking, but let's leave the back doors to BitBoy.
Right. So it's almost ready. So it's almost ready. I promise. You know, every week it's going to get better and better. So, you know, it's, if you guys have Apple, download Apple now, download it for PC, download it for Mac, whatever, you know, it's free. It's free. Just, you know, download it, try and break it, all that kind of cool stuff. But Android soon, very, very soon.
Definitely looking forward to the Android version, man. I'm an Android guy, and yeah, I appreciate the fact that you put security and those other things first, because I think a lot of people would put getting a product out there, putting their name out. And, you know, as a developer myself, I do really appreciate you saying, no, we're going to hold off until this is ready when we should launch it as we should.
Yeah. And Android is a pain to work with at times. I'll tell you that.
Java, you know, it's different. It's a little different. But the thing is, I mean, you got to remember, we're doing all this on my and Snae's dime, period, right? So you got people like to compare our wallet to like Ethos. They had an $800 billion market cap and didn't even deliver what we gave the world for free. I mean, it's like, cut me a little bit of slack, guys. You know, we're still just doing all this, you know, here you go. Yeah. It's free. So.
Well, no, I mean, people have been cutting you slack. I mean, they've literally just been curious. And I've had no idea when you just said a day, I'm really shocked. I had no idea when it was going to be coming out. I don't mess with the Android. So, I mean, people weren't asking like, you know, that people got Androids and they want a piece of it, you know.
99% of people would have released it a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago. But there's a few things that we're shoring up because, again, it is 100% decentralized. We don't even keep an email, a username, anything. We have no idea. We don't track your guys' location, your cell phone information, nothing. I haven't seen anything like that yet. So this is 100% decentralized. We have to make sure that it is completely safe before we set it free. You know what I mean? So because the last thing I want
Beadles likes to creep on you the old-fashioned way. He'll just show up in your window.
Hey, you know what, baby? Your furniture looks really great from the front yard.
You just call me baby. That's been weird, dude. My people probably love it. So, well, hey, let me ask you while we're talking about Monarch. Let me ask you this this other question real quick. Like, so basically, people ask me all the time about about what wallet I use and different stuff, and I think even if just by accident, you've done a really good job of getting other crypto influencers in on Monarch to talk about it on their channels, because people know you're a nice guy, and we believe in the project. Like when we talk to you, person to person, it's very obvious that you guys know what you're doing and that this is going to be a good project. It's the only ICO I've literally ever invested in. And so, but people ask me about it all the time, like what makes it different? I try to say, well, like you store your crypto on the blockchain with it, right? Like it's kind of almost in cold storage. Is that right? Can you talk a little bit about how the crypto is actually stored on the wallet?
Yeah, so basically the crypto is stored on the respective blockchain of the crypto you hold. So it's stored, on Ethereum, it's stored on Bitcoin. We act as kind of a window into it for you. You guys control your private key, your seed, all that stuff. We don't maintain any of it whatsoever. We just run their protocols and their language on our wallets. And so the wallet is just the foundation. From there, we build up. We use our broker-dealer license to plug bank accounts into it so they can buy and sell cryptos at the best prices and all that kind of fun stuff that people want to do. They want to pay their bills with it. They can. But it means a lot to me. I'm honored truly that, that you invested and participated in it. And it's not something we even push. Like you don't see me, out there telling people, buy. Because all I want them to do is download, right? So, I don't even ask them to review it. I just want them to try it and see if they like it.
I got a couple questions from the chat. When are Cardano and Monero coming to the Monarch wallet?
All right. So we've been working with the Cardano team. So we've been going back and forth with them. There's certain things out there that we have to make sure are just perfect for our users. So we're working through some of that stuff with them. We're not going to throw anything on there that's not 100% right. That's why you won't see EOS on there. So there's still, some back and forth stuff that we're doing with them. And most of the stuff, we just do on our own to make sure that it's right. But with Cardano, since I hold those guys in such high esteem, it's like, we're working with those guys. So give us a minute. You know what I mean? We'll get it on there too. But there's a few other really big announcements that, we'll have really soon. And the last time I told you guys I had a big announcement, next thing you know, bam, co-founder of LinkedIn's on board. So, you know, just wait, we got something ginormous coming. So,
Beadles, how do you guys deal with like major protocol changes? How does that mess with your process a lot or no?
yeah, of course. Yeah, anytime we support something, we have to make sure that if it's going to fork or it's going to do something else, yeah, we got to be ahead of the curve. Yeah, because the last thing we want to have is any kind of interruption whatsoever with our. Yeah,
for sure.
I think that's the challenge with like all wallets, really, mobile or otherwise, is that when you're, you know, everyone wants to have their token available in a wallet. When is this coin coming? When is this coin coming? But yeah, like you were saying, it's hard to be able to keep up with so many changes or you know, iterations of each chain and interfacing with teams if you need to. I mean, that's a lot of people and things to keep track of, you know, and to be able to keep continuously updating. So it's definitely an arduous process, I think.
And APIs change constantly.
Right.
Constantly.
Right.
I have that issue with apps that I've built a lot where I try to go demo something I made 3 months ago and it's already broken, right? And you don't have to go back.
Or even like a week ago sometimes. Like, damn it, it's been only 1 week.
It drives me crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we actually don't use APIs for our chains. So we're not like other hot wallets. We actually run nodes for every single thing that we support. So it gets expensive. But again, it's when they make a change or something like that, then yeah, we have to change everything as well. So that way we're able to support both tokens or both coins, whatever it ends up being, you know, on our wallet for our users.
So for adding new coins, do you guys take requests from the community, or do you just go based on, how do you decide coins? Because I got people asking about other coins like Elastos and stuff.
So Muya coin, in or out?
I think we've made that determination on this live.
Probably have,
yeah. we have a list of coins and tokens that you know, that have been requested, and basically right now I go off of primary use, right? So I look at primary use or partners. Okay, so people that we're either partnered with, we like them very much, or there's huge use cases for them. Those are the coins and tokens you'll see us adding, you know, first. You know, we've reached out to the community, I think recently, actually, maybe last week, and asked them, you know, what tokens or coins do they want next? And so I think that's still going. But it does take us a minute to add them because it's not a hot wallet. You know what I mean? It's not as simple. It's real simple. You know, if we just want to run something that just pings back and forth and we're using other people's stuff and it's not decentralized, dude, we can have every single freaking token up there, dude, in a week for you guys. But then when something happens, it's like, well, hey guys, it wasn't us, it was our API. You know what I mean? It's like, at least this way we're in control because we're running actual nodes and it's legit information that we're, you know, putting out there for people. So yeah, it's definitely, it's time consuming. Especially as we're running in different directions. So not only are we adding tokens and coins, but we're also with our merchant plugins, with our partners, all the different things that we're doing behind the scenes, trying to get Android out just right. You know, there's a ton of stuff that goes into it, but we definitely want the community to tell us what they want. And so we have some cool ones that we're releasing here really soon. I wanted to make sure that we added TUSD to it because you guys know that I'm not a fan of Tether. TrueUSD I thought was the most safe at the moment we have at the moment. You know, maybe I'll throw David Zimbek's peg on there pretty soon, but I wanted something that was, you know, safe. And so that's why we gave them the ability to, you know, sell their Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever. And if they want to put it in TUSD, they could. So the next is other tokens and coins that have high usage, and then whatever the community wants as well.
Yeah, that's great that you know, you really do listen to the community as well. I think that's really important. You know, a lot of projects just don't do that, and I think that when you look at crypto, I think a lot of what makes crypto not necessarily unique, but what makes it what it is community aspects. You know, building a community around a coin, around a project, and you like BitBoy was saying earlier, you're talking about Doge. I mean, you know, this is something that has you know, moved up the ranks steadily as this meme coin. But really, what it comes down to is it just has a really great community. And the community is what is driving these types of things. And so you can see even a project that just started out as being something like, oh, fun and you know, whatever, it gets a great community behind it. It can really push a project up there. And so I think, you know, when it comes to cryptocurrency, I think community building and working with the community and being open to those things is a huge driver of these types of projects. I mean, and so we see like a lot of those things where these projects, maybe not the best project, maybe not the most interesting project, but man, if you have a great community behind you, you could get up, you know, into a higher position in CoinMarketCap or raise even more in ICOs. And we've seen that with projects that have really great marketing.
Is that ICOs or ICOs?
Damn you, BitBoy. Yes, it's ICO. I know they got me on that one. I've been trying to break myself of that habit. I always, you guys say ICO or ICO? I say ICO sometimes.
People say about it. But the thing I would bring up was, it was really interesting because what you're saying right now lines up with what we were talking about earlier when we brought up Dogecoin, which was Andreas Antonopoulos, saying that he believed that there will be more coins. That's kind of like contrary to what I believe. I've said for a long time that there's going to be like a cryptocurrency bubble that's a project bubble, where eventually we're going to have all these projects that are going to pop. They're not going to go anywhere. And then we'll see, about 100 different coins. But it's interesting to hear him say that, because on my podcast, Beards and Bitcoins, you guys check that out. I had John McAfee on a couple weeks ago, and John McAfee, he kind of like scolded me on that. I was like, dang, my wife was like, he was so mean to you. I basically said, what I thought. And he said, no, that's stupid. There's going to be 2 million different coins out there. And, I don't know. That's not a thought that I had really had before, that we may have more. Not like right now we're sitting at 5,000.
I think we're already seeing that, man. I mean, you look at like things that would like that new Go Seed It thing on Twitter, where you can create these Tron tokens really quick, and then you can send them as community things to people just through a Twitter message. I think we are going to see more and more coins. We'll definitely see projects fall by the wayside, and we might see a little bubble where we have this massive amount of projects people are investing in. And that kind of reduces, but then just like we saw in the .com kind of burst, where all these projects were propped up, and then the bubble burst, and the ones that were crappy ended up going away. But now we look back at now when we're looking at the environment compared to then. I mean, are there less websites or less e-commerce shops or less like internet focused companies than there were in 2000? No, there's
one of the things too that people maybe don't see yet is, with businesses, they're for profit, and so they're always trying to find ways to monetize their business, to raise income, whatever. And so they're going to be doing whatever they can in the crypto space to do that, I believe. But the bigger picture that I see is in real estate, in the stock market. I see everything going the way of crypto, because right now, how hard is it for you to sell, an Apple stock, to your mom or to whoever? I mean, you have to have like an E-Trade account. You got to do this, you got to do that, or if you want to buy a piece of real estate and you don't have all the money, how are you going to get a loan? I mean, I see everything going the way of blockchain and crypto, everything. It's going to be ridiculous how many coins and tokens and different use cases for it. And so it's a whole new market, a whole new era. It's going to be so much bigger than any of us even think. And it's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
I think there'll be a ton of different like projects. The only thing that I think will be different, and to BitBoy's point, I think there's going to be a limited number of like protocols, like platforms, true platforms that can exist. Just because, first of all, people are already having trouble keeping up with all of the like different, all-in-one platforms. Like it's like daily there are new ones, but there are going to be millions upon millions of products built on some of those big platforms. And I guess another question is, have any of those true platforms been built yet? Because there's always questions about, can Ethereum survive? Is Ethereum going to do anything? Is Cardano the answer? Is, Lastos, whatever? What are your thoughts?
I think the biggest question is from Colorado Cryptonaut. Says BitBoy keeps looking down. He isn't wearing pants, I'm telling you.
Whoa.
That's a big question.
I keep looking down because I'm looking at my screen, okay? Y'all chill. And I'm looking at my naked legs.
I'm looking down at my live chat.
That's where I look. Yeah, you're right. I got the live chat. Go Falcons, rise up. We won yesterday.
Hey, you can pop out that live chat, right? And you can have it as a screen.
Yeah, I can have it as a screen, but I can't put it on top of my Zoom. So I don't know how you do that.
I don't have enough screen real estate on this computer.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, I can add it through OBS, but it just shows like I can't see it on my screen because on my screen I've got the Zoom. So you'll have to show me how to do it.
I just pop it out as like a Google. It's like a Google Chrome pop out, and I just have it overlaid over the top of one of you guys talking, so I don't have to see your ugly face.
Ouch. I'm on the outside. It better not be me, Stache.
Is it?
Put it on mine. Put it on mine.
So also really quick, I had a question in the chat for Beadles about Monarch. He wanted to know what the main value prop is compared to Exodus.
I mean, so Exodus, they're sharing your keys, right? So right there, boom. They've raised a bunch of money, right?
Yep.
So we did this on our dime. Ours is free. Go get it right now. I mean, they're a wallet. We have a broker dealer license. So if you want to plug it into your bank account and suck money into your wallet and then use our exchange, where we're partnered with 165 other different exchanges through our partners, and you're able to buy and sell crypto at the best price, take your winnings or your losses or whatever and put it back in your bank account, you can. If you want tax forms, right? So you want tax forms because you're doing all these trades all the time. Well, we'll have all the spreadsheets that you can give to your CPA or whoever to make sure that you guys are able to report everything for your taxes.
That's huge.
I mean, it's just kind of like, it's just like this, as a crypto knot, right? As some guy that I just, sorry, Nathan, but as, somebody that, just loves crypto, loves blockchain, I tried to come up with something with Snay, where we take his idea of reoccurring payments and create this all-in-one platform that allows you to run your financial freedom from the palm of your hand, no matter where in the world you're at. You don't need anybody's permission to go buy a pair of shoes or spend money in some other country or cut you off and take your money. It's right there with you everywhere you go. So, I think Exodus too, I don't know that they're mobile. I think they're just a desktop thing.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, just desktop.
I don't like the idea of sharing keys with anybody,
I agree.
So.
What do you mean about sharing? What do you mean sharing keys?
So
like the Exodus doesn't hold your private keys on their wallet.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, because from what I've seen and from what I've been told, they actually have access to your keys. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I would double check that.
Yeah, I don't think so, but they definitely are only desktop, and that's one of the things I use Exodus too. It's one of the wallets I do use, but they do need a mobile application. That's definitely, that's a must these days, and that's what I'm saying. So I like the fact that you're working and making sure you have both Android and iPhone, because that's where everything's going, man. People want to be able to do that. They want to pay bills from their phone. They want to be able to buy and sell. You're right, be able to access all their financials. I love the bill pay aspect of your wallet. Actually, I talked to one of your teammates at CIS last year about this, and I was like, oh, it'd be great, man, if you could some way, like, kind of pay your monthly bills, have it set up on a cycle, but be able to use crypto to kind of hedge that throughout the month. Whereas it essentially is finding the best day to be able to take the crypto you have to be able to pay your bills, so you get the maximum amount of return out of it, right? As kind of like a feature. So if your bill is due on the 15th of the month, right, and let's say at the beginning of the month you deposit $1,000 worth of Bitcoin, and then what it would do is it would pay that bill automatically on the day that Bitcoin had the best performance, and so it'll hedge that for you. So it wouldn't pay it on that day; it would wait the 15 days, and then would say, okay, on the third day, Bitcoin had the best performance, so we're going to give you that rate, and we're going to somewhat subsidize that for you, right, on the platform.
Yeah. Sorry, I was still caught up on the Exodus thing. I'm over here pulling up their site on the right-hand side, trying to can I view my private keys? So, the last thing I want to do is ever speak out of turn and say that they have access to them. And so from what I'm looking at right now, it looks like we designed it easy. I'll have to get back to you on this because I don't want to speak out of turn. So
I think they store them. I think they store them on your machine.
Okay, so I'll say Exodus doesn't, just because I don't know 1,000%, but I do know they're desktop only. I do know that, I met a couple of their devs, cool dudes. But anyway, sorry, I was still thinking about that one.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks, Mark Benjamin, for asking that question.
Well, I got one question. I know we're getting real close to the end here, so just maybe some quick thoughts on this. Question is, Elastos has more 24-hour volume than Nano or Verge. Are people bullish on Elastos?
So I just interviewed the CEO right before this video. So that's why I'm not able to stream from my channel, because I was trying to figure out how to get him back so he could eat dinner and get over to here. And dude, so many people love Elastos. It's the Pied Piper, the decentralized internet, for people to watch Silicon Valley. They're trying to do so many different things. And so I'm going to actually put out an hour-long video where he just explains everything. And you guys can make up your own mind whether it's something you guys like or not. But it's a very, very ambitious project, and they're doing a lot of things. And, and he has so many different takes on the space from other people, like where he basically says transactions per second, Moore's law doesn't apply. It doesn't matter. That's old way of thinking. Here's a new way of thinking. Beat Elastos, right? So there's a lot of really cool stuff that they're doing. If he's able to do it, that's going to be great, right? It's kind of like Charles Hoskinson. He's got all these different great ideas. If he's able to do 10% of it, it's going to be incredible, right? So
execution.
that's it, right? Because you can have the greatest ideas in the world, but if you don't have the money,
Right.
team, you know, it's like, oh, what's
Got
going
to
to
execute, man.
But he's got some really revolutionary ideas. And so I don't know if you guys have really looked into Elastos and checked out all the stuff that they're doing, but yeah, it's definitely different, man. And a lot of people, I mean, 33 million tokens. It was at like $90. Now it's at like $8.
Yeah,
so
no.
they got merge mining. They got all kinds of stuff going on. But their biggest backer was Bitmain. They got all kinds of stuff. You know, that it's pretty impressive. You know, the stuff that they're doing. So.
Yep, I did a video on it recently. I am definitely, I'm a fan. I'm right now in the process of getting involved as a developer so I can get my hands on and start playing with it and really building stuff to see how I feel after that. Yes, exactly. So yeah,
You were supposed to see that.
I'm going to do a follow-up.
BitBoy's going after your butt.
Jeez, guys, jeez. Honestly, though, I think Elastos is one of those projects that it's kind of unique in the fact that it's been around for so much longer than a lot of these other projects because the whole concept wasn't predicated on doing an ICO or doing crypto, doing blockchain for the sake of blockchain. It kind of fit in naturally to what they were doing, and it does set them apart for sure.
Yeah,
I'm definitely have to look more into Elastos, man. You guys that's one of the projects I haven't really like done a deep dive into, you know. And I've had people recently ask me also about looking into Elastos. What do you think about Elastos? So now I'm gonna watch all you guys' videos now, and I'm gonna do my own research and really dive into that one because I've definitely been hearing a lot of stuff about it. And
Different,
worth a look.
Different kind of project. If you really want to see a good video, go watch my video on Elastos. You can find it. It's pretty old, but I did a real funny little intro to it.
Okay,
come down to Bob.
Crypto, do you also have an Elastos video we can watch?
Yeah.
You got one too, Randall? You got a Elastos video for us?
No. The creator of the Camfield Fibonacci extensions just.
I heard he's big into fidget spinners. Is that correct?
Yeah, he is. He sold quite a lot of fidget spinners. He wrote, "Loving Elastos feels so right yet so wrong." ROG.
Oh man, that's yeah. The founder, his name is Ron with a G. So for people that didn't know that, yeah.
Oh, that's great.
There's a lot of that's Chico's buddy, old Chico Crypto's buddy. Went out there and met him in person and hung out with
When's
him.
the match happening?
I don't know. You'll have to ask Chico.
We got to get this Chico Crypto BitBoy match going.
Wait, Beadles, can you hook up a sanctioned fight? I mean, because I know
UFC style.
Yeah, you used to be kind of some MMA stuff, right? You know, got some MMA friends. Can you get me and Chico in the octagon for a crypto charity? I don't know which one.
Well, I'm sure I can, ask, right? Because, Uriah Faber is my best buddies.
Yeah.
Business partners.
I don't want to fight him. I want to fight Chico.
Yeah.
In the octagon.
It wouldn't be much of a fight.
Yeah.
No,
you and Uriah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm bigger than him, so he doesn't have much of a chance. But he probably lasts a little bit. He probably,
Murder you.
he'd probably make it around 2,
I like BitBoy's confidence. I like his confidence.
Dude, I've seen him fight people with 2 broken hands, dude. He's got more heart than I've ever seen in my life. He's nicest guy.
Well, yeah, if he's fighting people with 2 broken hands, they can't do much. They don't have hands that work, so.
I don't know. Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Vegas, man. I want to see Vegas, World CryptoCon, charity, UFC, octagon match, BitBoy versus Chico Crypto.
Live stream,
Chico. Come
live
at me.
stream, baby.
Live streamed.
Look, I need this answer on this. So I don't know. I mean, he's going to be there at World CryptoCon. So
yeah, I can't see UFC, putting together a fight between the 2 of you guys. But
well, they somebody put together the Logan Paul and KSI fight, right? So
we'll just find the local UFC gym in Vegas and have them host it.
That's fine. I'll do that. Yeah, that's fine. We can do that. Thank you for late notice. I might need to start training.
There's a UFC gym in Vegas. I'm sure I could have it set for you.
That's what you should do. The gym.
Well, but I don't think he really knows that I want to fight him yet, even though I put it out everywhere. So
I've been seeing it a lot everywhere. That's why I asked.
Like, even if he says yes, we may need to schedule it. I don't think we could be like, hey, you want to fight right now? I mean, he's gonna, he's gonna be like, oh, he's a big dude. I need to train him.
I don't even know who he is. So everybody keeps talking about Chico's up in Sacramento, so I know that city.
Yeah, he's from Chico. Yeah.
Okay, so all right,
Is it really?
that's a party town. So that's a party town where they got a
Right, that's
college
it.
just about an hour outside of Sacramento. So it's not too far from us. But yeah, I don't know who he is. So you're just gonna go put a beating on him because?
Well, no, I mean, well, he, there's been a couple things that have happened. There've been some things, you
Do
know.
tell. Oh, now this is getting good. What do you got?
Throw the drama down, BitBoy. Tell
But
us.
you know, Beadles, you're involved in it. When so we're in a Telegram group, and he screenshotted a bunch of stuff that we were talking about, and it was harmless stuff. There was nothing that we were saying was negative. And then he went to his own Telegram group, and he started putting the screenshots in there, but he would put selective ones. And then he was saying like, oh, these guys are trying to organize a pump and dump or something like that. And so, that's why we kicked him out of the group, but I'm a little hurt about it. Somebody said he said something about me in one of his videos or in his Telegram group, whatever. So, you guys know BitBoy, don't at me. If you at me, I'm going to come right. I'm going to at you.
Like a snake.
I'm going to at
you.
BitBoy snake. I'm a slithery snake. So I don't run from confrontation. So, if you want to talk about me behind closed doors or you think I can't see it, then you know what? Come at me,
You
There's
guys,
so much adding going on here.
I just keep it real. Yeah. There ain't no subtracting going on. I'll tell you that much.
Are you guys atting the same weight class? Where are we at?
No, he's gonna have to man up a little bit. He gonna have to freaking eat some Wheaties. Maybe some donuts, more likely.
A lot of boxes of Wheaties, yeah.
Guys, we should set up a RuneScape fight. I think that's the best way to fight this out.
Oh my gosh, I'm not nearly nerdy enough to even know what that means.
Come on, BitBoy, look it up.
Let's just get the pillows out. Just have a big old fashioned pillow fight.
God, this turns out I can't even.
Oh, sexy.
Now you're talking. If we invite a bunch
sexy.
of girls and pillow fights, and now you're talking.
Family friendly. I'm married. Okay.
You guys don't have to watch. Just put it together so I can watch.
Randall loves to watch. I heard. So
He loves to watch.
It'll just be him.
Confirmed. Pillow fight. There you go.
Well, cool. Well, guys, I guess this cannot digress any further.
Yeah, this is so far off the rails. It's like not even in the same country.
Yeah,
anymore.
I didn't even realize we were still streaming. Are we still live right now?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that is it. Does everybody want to tell basically everybody else's audience where they can find you at?
Everybody's link is down in the description, so check these guys out.
Same as mine. Got the description linked up.
I will also add it to my description, and you can find me obviously CryptoStache. But yeah, definitely great live stream, guys. That was fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
It is always fun to hang out and just talk crypto. So it's great seeing you guys, man. So
Oh yeah. Well, guys, that is it. I'm BitBoy Crypto, by the way. And if you have not learned anything from this video, do not at me. All right, we'll see you guys later. BitBoy out.
Ash that crypto, friends.
God bless, guys.
Cheers.